The following may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Cedro's woman wailed at funeral of drowned grandson, "Take me, Lord, bring him back." Unable to compose herself at the funeral of her 14-year-old grandson, Bagmani Sookoo hugged his casket and called on Almighty God to return the teen to life. Between sobs, she pleaded for him to take her life instead so that Matthew Andrew Sookoo could be alive once more. "Take me, Lord, take me, and bring him back," the 62-year-old grandmother repeatedly pleaded in vain. Scores of mourners gathered at the funeral on Friday afternoon at the family's home at Fullerton Village, Cedros. Many tried to console Sookoo, telling her to not make such a request. But Sookoo continued and even had conversations with Matthew. She said, "Papa, you gone? Why you leave we?" Matthew, also known as T-Man and Soldier, would have turned 15 on July 1st. He was a student of Cedros Secondary School. He fell overboard at sea in a boat accident on Saturday. Villagers and Coast Guard officers found his body 2 days later on Monday. Matthew's parents, Shanti and Marlon, sat facing each other with a closed casket separating them. The blue and silver casket had a colored photo wrap of Matthew. Shanti's aunt, Wendy Ramnarin, eulogized the teen, saying he recently had a prophetic dream. He dreamt he died and encountered the Lord. Matthew grew up with his parents, sibling, and extended relatives, including his grandmother. The environment was love, love, and more love. He loved sports and he loved the sea, she said. Ramnarin said Matthew demonstrated his independence as a young man by preparing meals for himself in the kitchen. At times, Matthew acted as his mother's personal bodyguard. He also looked up to his dad, she said. Reverend Sentoma Jagannath of Cedros Missionary Baptist Church officiated, saying death has no age. He told mourners that there is comfort in the word of the Lord. Holding a Bible, he encouraged mourners to read it. He said Matthew was sleeping in the arms of Jesus Christ. Minister Ronald Sookoo of the same church prayed for God to grant the bereaved family the strength to go on. Sookoo considered Matthew a pleasant child who had a passion for the sea. To the bereaved family, Sookoo said, "Let him go. The promise is he is in the hands of the Lord." Other mourners paid tribute, saying Matthew was a respectable child. Villagers formed an honor guard with bats as the coffin was leaving the house. Accompanied by a music truck, the body was taken to the Fullerton Cemetery for burial. Trinidad teenager shot dead by police during confrontation. Police shot and killed an 18-year-old man who reportedly pointed a gun at officers during a search of a house in Castleton Gardens, Trinidad on Friday night. According to a police report, Jamal Antoine is said to have pointed a gun at the officers as he ran into a bedroom and he was shot. He was taken to the Arima Hospital, but he was declared dead on arrival. Reports state that the police of the Northern Division Task Force were carrying out searches in Trinidad on Friday. They went to a house at 4th Street West, Castleton Gardens at around 8:30 p.m. with a search warrant for arms and ammunition. The warrant was in the name of another occupant and not Antoine's. When the police entered the house, Antoine and another man were inside but ran when they saw the officers. Antoine went into a bedroom and the other man ran outside, dropping a Glock pistol with an extended magazine loaded with ammunition. He jumped over a wall and escaped. Reports said officers chased Antoine, who they claimed refused to comply with instructions to drop a gun. The officers opened fire and neutralized the threat. An M&P pistol with 15 rounds of ammunition was seized in the house. Investigations are continuing. San Juan man charged with paying for sex with child. A 54-year-old man appeared before a Port of Spain magistrate last week charged with paying for sexual services from a 15-year-old girl. Elias Monroe, aka Leary of Bourg Mulatres, appeared before the Port of Spain Magistrates Court on March 17th after being charged with the offence by PC Castle of the North Eastern Division Child Protection Unit CPU on March 16th. The matter was adjourned to April 15th. A police press release issued on Friday said investigations began after a 15-year-old made a report to the CPU in March 2019 that a man had paid her $250 to stay home from school and have sex with him. Inquiries were headed by Acting Inspector Davidson and Corporal Peters Wilson of the CPU. Cops visit PSA office for documents. Police visited the Public Services Association PSA Port of Spain on Friday as part of ongoing investigations. Police confirmed the officers visited the building at around 10 a.m. as part of ongoing inquiries into allegations of corruption and mismanagement of the union. They said the purpose of the visit was to find documents of interest in the investigation. Newsday visited the building on Friday and spoke to one member of the PSA's executive, who said he did not know about the police presence as he was out of the building at the time. Newsday also tried to contact PSA President Watson Duke for comment, but was unsuccessful. The visit by police comes 2 days after some PSA members demonstrated outside the Abercrombie Street building calling for Duke's resignation, alleging mismanagement and corruption. What's your verdict? Do you think Watson Duke should retire and be charged if any act of corruption is discovered at the PSA? Or do you think he has done no wrong and you are pleased with his performance at the PSA? Bring back my wife to Trinidad and Tobago, says ex-senator. Former opposition Senator Taharka Obika has resorted to social media to besiege the government to lift the borders to allow entry to TT nationals, including his Togo-born wife and their 2 young children. Obika was a senator from 2015 to 2020, and then the UNC candidate for Port Fortin in the 2020 general election unsuccessfully. He has not seen his family for a year, and they remain stranded in Africa. His wife was in Togo finishing a degree, set to return to TT last September, but got blocked by the TT border closure. Need my wife and my daughter and son to be home. Government, open the border to our nationals now, read a posting he made on Monday. Obika told Newsday the border lockdown imposed to curb the spread of the COVID-19 virus was taking a huge emotional and financial toll on those affected, such as his family. He urged the government to follow the lead of other Caribbean governments in allowing entry to their countries, subject to a period of quarantine at home. Obika told Newsday he might consider leaving TT to go to Lomé, Togo, to be with his wife and children. Asked why he made the online post, he said he is not just an economist but also a storyteller with a duty to relate his experiences, even at the risk of criticism from online trolls. I'm sure many persons are enduring not having their families with them as I am. As a man in this society, these are not fashionable things to express your feelings. But when you miss your child, some days it's like a big stone on your chest for the entire day, morning into night. Obika said his family has been abroad for a year. My son is growing up. He is 2 years, 3 months. My daughter is going to be 5 years this year. Obika said his wife had been in Togo with their children completing her economics degree when they were caught out by the COVID-19 lockdown. He said last November he had applied for an exemption for his family to return to TT, and when a new system was introduced in January, he had reapplied in February. But when you apply for the visa, they throw you a curveball by telling you that you need to get a confirmed flight. Of course, that would have been impossible, so we were just waiting. When the new process by the Ministry of National Security came on stream, we applied and we got a reference number, and that's it. He said the UK borders had been opened, then closed and reopened again. Now the UK is opening back up. It would be much more feasible to get a flight to come. Saying his family must travel via Ghana and the UK, Obika said, the UK has vaccinated a third of its targeted population, making flights out of the UK much more feasible. He said if the government opens up the borders, flights heading to TT should be listed in a schedule to make it easier for passengers to get a confirmed booking from the travel agent if required by the ministry. It could be a month from now, but at least once you have a definite date, you have something to work towards. Obika said separation can harm family life, especially when they don't know when they'll be reunited. At least every day a phone call and WhatsApp a video call. That was the agreement when my wife left anyway. But still, he says it changes the way you relate to your family. It's a very difficult experience because it's an indefinite removal, so you have no idea when you'll have access to return. I have toyed with the idea of leaving the country to be closer to them, but then I can't speak French and she lives in a French-speaking African country. It's not that I can't gain employment there. I have to be here. These are the things you consider. The only saving grace is that she is in her home country. She has her family around her. There are TT nationals who are not in that position. His daughter attends school in both Gabon and Trinidad, taking advantage of the time difference in the two countries. She's doing preschool at a primary school in Point Fortin Grace Academy. She's doing physical classes in Togo. They are 4 hours ahead of us. By the time she comes home at 3 p.m. Lome time, she prepares for a class which is at 11 a.m. in Trinidad. He misses his son. My son started speaking and I was not there. These are things people might feel are trivial, but they are very important milestones. The family doesn't even know if the wife's application to come back is now in the pipeline. What's your verdict? Do you think the government should open the borders and allow Trinidad and Tobago nationals to return? Or do you think it's too much of a risk and they should continue with the border closure?